lockdown effect. Hey, what is up guys, it's Okran1993 here, and today's video is going to be a banlist prediction and a banlist discussion video, since Konami will release a banlist even if we are in lockdown. At least here in Italy, lockdown is still a thing, and I know that also in other countries it is still a thing, so stay at home if it's not necessary for you to go out, but we will receive the banlist. So let's get started, and before we start, leave a like on the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, so we will hit the 3k subscribers milestone. It will be really appreciated. Follow me on Instagram as Okran1993. Follow also my competitive Yu-Gi-Oh team, the Omnia Players, on Instagram and on Facebook. So let's get started and let's take a look at my discussion and prediction. So I would like to be most accurate as I can. If you want to suggest me something else or commenting, please comment down below and let me know what are your ideas about this metagame and about the decks that are now the most popular into the metagame. So no real tournaments out there, but we all know that we can play on the online platforms, and we will probably be able to play also on the remote dueling Discord server. And stay tuned, because I think that this weekend something big can happen, so trust me. Let's get started. I cannot say anything else for now. As you can see, we have tons of cards to discuss. Let's start by the big problem. So we got Block Dragon. Block Dragon is an amazing card I've used in the Adamantipator deck. This card is able to generate so much advantage, and probably is the main reason why a lot of players are deciding to run this card in the deck and to play that deck. This card is absolutely amazing, and I think that we can say goodbye to this card. It will probably get banned, also because it was already reprinted, so I think that now that the card is cheap, probably they will decide to ban it once and for all. The deck will be still playable, but will lose a lot of consistency and a lot of pluses that it can generate. Then moving on to the tuners, there is so much to discuss. A lot of people are disgusted by the combos that we are able to perform under the Master Rule 5. We've seen really a lot of stuff and a lot of changes also in the decks that we didn't think that can have these kind of shifts, like Eldritch. So Eldritch moved from a pure version to an invoked based version to a synchro based version, running 3 copies of Jet Synchron within the main deck. So Jet Synchron is a really problematic card, since it is 1 card Borderlord Savage Dragon and Herald of the Arclight, if I'm not mistaken, by just using 1 single card plus a random generic discard card in order to get the Jet Synchron back onto your field in order to abuse it once again. The problems about Jet Synchron are of course related to all these cards that I put in here: the Link Cross, the Crystron Alkai Fibrax, and the Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, all together with the Olion, and also the Despot 001 is guilty in somehow in all of this. So we can say that the real problem is not Jet Synchron. There's really a lot to discuss and a lot of angles to talk about this issue. Some people is thinking that Link Cross is the main issue, because it's able to transform the Needle Fiber into other tokens and another plus on the field after you use the Needle Fiber. Since Needle Fiber doesn't have any single restriction on it, I think that it would have been more fair if it contains something like it cannot be link summoned away in the turn you use the effect or something like that, since a lot of other monsters has this restriction, but Needle Fiber doesn't. So these 2 cards together are amazing. Also, the Auroradon combo is so popular right now, and it is another card able to generate even more tokens, all together with the Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. I also saw other combos playing the Blue Impala, another Mecha Phantom Beast, especially Mermails, and the fact that we have access to this card is amazing. So what I think is that Jet Synchron can be banned or can be moved to 1, because Avalanche is running 3 copies of this. Moving Jet Synchron to 1 will not stop anything at all though, because it will reduce the consistency of the Avalanche Synchro based decks, but in Mermaids you can still hand loop for 5 or 6 even, thanks to Jet Synchron, and you have to run only 1 single copy of course in your main deck in order to bring it out with the Crystal Archive Fabrics. So also the All Ion, I think that should be banned, but once again we know that All Ion should be reprinted sooner in a super rare form, so I don't think it will be a great move for Konami to ban this card in early June and then reprint it in super rare. It makes kind of like no sense, so I don't think that they will do that. And another important issue about the Archive Fabric situation is that if you ban these tuners, we will have other tuners, so we can decide to ban all the tuners in the game and resolve the problem, or we can hit Archive Fabrics. But I think that all of these cards coming from Dual Overload will not be hit at all, because it's too early and we don't have real tournaments already. So maybe they can try to, I don't know, limit Jet Synchron or ban Jet Synchron for sure, I guess, so it's still playable but it's not as consistent as before. And for All Ion I really don't know, because I think that this card deserves to be banned, but the fact that we will have the reprint, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that. Also the fact of Link Cross and the other cards, we will talk about them later. So All Ion, you know what I think. Then we got Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, which is absolutely a blowout, especially against combo decks, like Adamantipator in particular, because this card is able to shut down the opponent's extra deck just by being equipped, and you know that we can do this through the Union Carrier combo that can be pretty much splashable in all the decks. You just require to have 2 monsters with the same attribute or type in order to go to Union Carrier, and then you just equip the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword onto a random monster that you have, which is a legal target, and then the opponent will be locked out of the extra deck. So this card is an absolute blowout. I don't know what they will decide to do, because this card is required to counter the strategies, but is 1 card win condition sometimes, so I think that this card can be banned as well. But at that point the Union Carrier will be kinda like dead, and once again the reasoning behind the fact that Union Carrier is coming from Durov as all the other links in here, I think it can be pretty controversial about the decision, but I think that this card should go as well. Then moving on into the Invoked is kinda like same reasoning for the Mecha Phantom Beast Alliance. So Invoked cards deserves to be hit. They are in the metagame since for a while now. I think you can agree with me. Pure version, Mech Knight version, then Shadow version, and now Adlich Invoked version. So both the Meltdown and the Alistair represent a problem in my opinion, but they will be reprinted, so once again they will probably stay safe. I don't think that Konami will drop a huge ban list this time. They will probably just hit some cards. I don't think they will hit a lot of cards. Feel free to come back in here and tell me that I was wrong when they will ban everything once again, but I don't think that now in this moment, for the fact that we will have the reprints, they will hit these cards. After the reprint maybe we can see Meltdown going to 1 or Alistair going to 1. Then the Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are amazing, and that's it. It's a really strong deck. It's not so popular in Europe, but I know that in the USA, in Canada and all that areas there, they are really popular. They were piloted in the first place, Team YCS, the last Team YCS that we had, and this deck didn't suffer a single hit. Then we have the release of the Archosaurus in Eternity Code, and this deck was boosted a lot, but it's still not the best deck of the format, since we got the Avalanche and Adamantipator Dominion. So I don't know if they will decide to hit something. We can talk about both Oviraptor, Miscellaneous, and Fossil Dig. If you hit Fossil Dig, you will hit the consistency. If you hit Miscellaneous, it's such a strong card, but I don't think they will hit it. Maybe Oviraptor. Putting Oviraptor to 1 will force kinda like the player to move into triple Crocodile, because a lot of Dino players are playing just 2 copies of the Archosaurus, since Oviraptor is a better normal summon. But what will you do if you have just one Oviraptor at your disposal? You will play 3 copies of Archosaurus, so I'm really scared about the Oviraptor. But once again, I heard that there will be a reboot of the Dinosaur structure deck. They will probably reprint it, so once again, I don't know if they will hit this deck or not. I hope not, because I'm a Dino player, but there is no doubt that these cards are amazing. Then I already talked about Meltdown. Another field spell card is this Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is still there. It's not such a problem as before, so I think that it can be just free to stay at 3, but once again, I repeat this every single video. I think that Mystic Mine should go at least to 1, and then at that point Metaverse can go back, or otherwise if Mystic Mine stays at 3, just ban Metaverse or leave it at 1, it is fine. I don't think they will hit anything about this. Then moving into the extra deck, I already talked a little bit about the Linkross, Alkai Firebrax and Auroradon. They are all interconnected. Linkross is so crazy because of Needle Fiber, but it is a really strong card anyways. I think that this card should be banned, and it will be banned maybe before the Needle Fiber. I don't know if it is still time. As I said before, duo of cards, it is really early for them to be banned, so I don't think that Linkross should go now, but surely maybe in the next ban list we don't want this card. This card is so strong, it makes no sense in my opinion. Then a Needle Fiber, so controversial, we talk about this. It's kind of like a firewall situation. If you remember the Firewall Dragon, when it was released, it forced Konami to put a Assault Core from the ABCs to 1, just because there was Needle Fiber, and with the A Assault Core you were able to generate some FTKs, so they hit a lot of cards around the Firewall Dragon in order to sell it, and in order to let's stay the Firewall Dragon into the game, and then they decided to ban the Firewall Dragon afterwards, after a bit of time passed, and then release back all the cards, including the A Assault Core, which is the major example for that. I think that the situation is pretty much the same, and we will see a kind of like similar scenario. Then for your Auroradon, this card is really strong as well. Probably if we don't have the Metal Phantom Beast Lion, this card will not be as strong as before, but you can still play a lot of other targets, of course. I don't know, probably this card should be banned as well, but not now at all. Talking about the extra deck, I want also to add a side note to the ABC Dragon Buster and the Bahamut Shark, because they were announced to be in the next OTS packs, and I can't figure out why, because ABC Dragon Buster was limited and then now reprinted is super rare. Why? And then Bahamut Shark is not being touched in the previous ban list, but they decided to put Totally Awesome to 1. So I think that this can mean that ABC Dragon Buster can be released, at least at 2 copies I guess. No one is playing ABCs now, so they can try to put that at 2, and then let's see what happens. And then talking about the Bahamut Shark, it is strictly related to the Totally Awesome, so I think that also for Totally Awesome we can see Totally Awesome going to 2. So that can explain in somehow, in my opinion, the Bahamut Shark reprint, because I cannot see how is that relevant, since I know that Mermaids were boosted by the Eternity Code booster pack through the Deep Sea stuff, but no one is playing Mermaids. And I am a Mermaid player too, so Mermaid is not topping because the other decks are too strong. So we can see something like that happening as well. Talking about the last part of my discussion and prediction, we have the cards that can come back or increase their number. So I think that Redox should be released. I always say this. Maybe hitting the Block Dragon and ban it can mean that Redox can come back. I don't know. It's another cool monster that can interact with the other herbs and other stuff. So it can be cool to see this card back once again. Then Tour Guide from the Underworld can come back at 3 as well. And also here, maybe Block Dragon Band will push the Tour Guide to 3, because a lot of BA players were playing also the BA Rock versions with the Block Dragon in it. So once Block Dragon is gone, you can also put the Tour Guide to 3. Also because Deep Sea Diva was strictly related to this card and was moved to 3, so I think that this should go to 3 as well. And Deep Sea Diva is a tuner as well. Then Maxi Chapter. I always have to talk about Maxi in my discussion. So players are kind of like bored with the big boards that we can do now in Master Rule 5. I don't think it's time for Max E. You know what I think. I think that this card will be released when we will have the release of the Crossout Designator, which is such a strong card that is able to block the Max E. So probably we will see something like that. So the Konami strategy will be like releasing Max E, so there is more need to buy the Crossout Designator. That's what I think. Then talking about Necros of Unicorn, I don't know why this card is still 1. It can be moved to 2 at least, just to try. Then RP's Feather Duster, another card that I would like, is kind of like a wish list this for me. I don't think they will do it. It would be fair because maybe it can bother a little bit the Adlich combos and the Adlich decks, but this will conflict too much with the Lightning Storm being such an important card for Konami, so maybe it's too early. We can see this back after a reprint of the Lightning Storm. Then Mind Control. Well, it would be so great to see this card once again to 2, at least in my opinion, because the boards that the players can produce now with the Master Rule 5 are amazing. So having a couple of Mind Controls can give you some more options to go when you are going second and you have to face that crazy boards. It won't be the first time that we see Konami putting a card at 3, a 2, a 1, and once again at 2. Let's take a look at Malicious. So I think it can happen. Then we got the Zodiac Barrage, another card that is at 1 but can be moved at 2, I guess. There are some players toying around with Zodiacs, but it is not near as to the really 100% Zodiac that we knew back in the days. Then Sky Striker, Widow Anchor. Some players and also some of my teammates that were related to this deck told me to put Engage in this list, Engage to 1, but I don't want to see Engage, and I think that no one want to see Engage, so Engage won't be released. Putting Anchor at 3 will not change pretty much anything, so I think that this can be a move that Konami can do in order to please the Sky Striker players. Already talk about Metaverse. Metaverse is good just because Mystic Mine is there. If Mystic Mine is gone, Metaverse can be back at 3. And then the Red Reboot can be another good counter for the trap-based strategies, including Adlich maybe somehow, allowing you to OTK and to have another card to play if you're going second against these control decks. So I think that would be really cool to have this card at 2 once again, but I don't know if they will hit it. So that's basically it for today. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about my discussion and prediction, if there are some other cards that you wanna see on the next Forbidden Limited list, if you have some wish list, and tell me also why you decide to pick certain cards instead of others. So that's it for today. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to support me. As you can see, we are so near to the 3K, so subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, will be really appreciated. Follow me, Okra1993, on YouTube and also on Instagram and also on Facebook, and follow my competitive Yu-Gi-Oh team, the Omnia Players, on Instagram and on Facebook, and see you in the next one.